As you know, I've dedicated the next decade of my life to a bold and audacious goal to radically transform education in South Africa. I simply can't accept that South Africa is rated number 132 out of 142 countries in terms of basic education and health. It's not who we are as a country. We now placed 50 out of 142 countries as far as global competitiveness is concerned. The problem with that is that we're number one in terms of strength of auditing and reporting standards, number two in terms of the soundness of our banks and the efficacy of corporate boards. We're number four in terms of our ability to develop financial markets. But how do we then make sense of the fact that we're number 132 in the world for basic education and health? This rating places us at the bottom 9% of the list of 142 countries. Surely we can do better than that. We need a radical innovation with regard to education. Mamphela Ramphele says that our education system at the moment is worse than Bantu education, and I agree with her. I've just returned from the Skoll World Forum. Jeff Skoll, the founder of eBay, brings together 1,000 social entrepreneurs from around the world every year. And at this event, we talk about the biggest issues facing our planet and our world. And one of the issues that was on the agenda this last week was education. And you know what's frightening about this is about how people sit around those tables and talk about South Africa as this poor country with, at the bottom 9% of education. And then they all talk about the need to parachute in aid to this poor, underdeveloped country. And surely we can do better than that. If we can be number one with regard to auditing and financial standards and number four in terms of development of financial markets, then we can fix this education system. And we do not need to wait for aid to be parachuted in. And so right now we are calling on business leaders to get actively involved, to make the decision that this is our country, our future, and we're not going to sit back and wait for government or any international aid agency to come and fix this for us. We're going to do it ourselves. We're going to make ourselves available and become actively involved. And we're going to do it within the next decade. So you may sit here thinking, well, how do I do this? There's some very practical things we need to do. Right now, we're looking for 98 business leaders to partner with school principals to become a thinking partner in a co-learning partnership and to help them figure out how to turn the situation around at the schools. Because the reality is that business leaders have been trained in how to lead change. We've received lots and lots of training. I've done some of that training. But the school principals who are being asked to lead that change has not received the same quality of training. And yet we sit back and we wait and we're expecting them to lead this large-scale transformation process. So we need business leaders who can be thinking partners to principals. We need people who can bring their skills and resources to this project. So we need people with financial skills and legal skills and communication skills and marketing skills and social media skills. Those are all skills that will help us to mobilize thousands of business leaders to get actively involved in this. We also need money because we need to employ some of the people who need to do this work. And so if you're willing to make yourself available either by giving of yourself or by giving of your money, we want to know from you, because the future of our country depends on our ability as business leaders to come together and deal with the crisis facing our country. We cannot sit back and wait for Superman any longer.